Following the signs, welcome in. This is going to be this is a channeled message that came through last night, and I actually recorded it, just a voice recording, but it didn't work properly. And okay, so I don't know how to. Anyway, I'm here. So this may or may not resonate with you, but if you were drawn to the title, then there could be something here for you. This was like a quite specific, but also like I feel somewhat collective. Some of it did kind of resonate, but yeah. Anyway, I've written it out, so there'll be a lot of me looking down, but mainly because it was just different but anyway, I've got some tarot cards too. If you do like this, or if you are returning, thank you, and thank you for your support. And if you do like this and you're new here, welcome. I've seen 222 like wow everywhere lately, like my dashboard, receipts, the time, it's been hectic. And then even last night going through McDonald's drive-through, 333 was my Macca's code, my rewards code. So you may be seeing some of these numbers as well, potentially. Maybe you're following those signs. But anyway, let's dive in. So the first message that came through was some are chasing the light, others are holding on for dear life. So there's two separate energies here, and this may have been a connection, a partnership. With this other energy, as I take one, is your energy. So they hold on to the memory of your energy. It's like an energetic attachment is being unwound. So like there's been a shift, and this shift has occurred within you, but not only within you, it has rippled out onto this connection as well. And this other soul, this other individual has felt that. And when that message come through, like I saw a hand bound up by something and it being unwound, and it was like blood returning to the hand and it pulsating, like if you've had something. So anyway, I'm seeing color return to a hand and pulse, something that has restricted you for a long time. But it wasn't harmful at first. At first it was something that was quite bearable. So you may have like dismissed red flags and, had good moments that held you in something for a period of time before separating. So this come through like it was a hair tie that's too tight for your wrist, or an elastic band. And if you're female, look, I'm sure you've done it. I recently have done it even. Gone to sleep with an incredibly tight hair tie or elastic band or ring even. And it's not until you wake up at 3 a.m. because like at first you don't notice it because you put it on there, it was bearable. It's not till the middle of the night when you wake up and can feel like, oh my God, get this off me. So this could go two ways. For some of you, this was a sudden shock and something ended. For others of you, this did wake you in the night. Maybe you had a very symbolic dream, or perhaps this was a Nine of Swords energy and something caused you a lot of sleepless nights. But yeah, it is, it was a real sort of stressed energy that came through with that. And I feel like whatever you have separated yourself from, like, it was for good reason, and it has really set you back on your own path, and you are divinely protected. So you could have been out at the shops recently, and it's like something prevents this person from bumping into you. Like, they could be heading out to specific places where they know you shop, or, you know, trying to catch you off guard. But you're so incredibly protected right now that this person is faced with obstacles. And your angels, now this was quite funny, don't want your path interrupted. And they said again, quite loud. So maybe this is someone you went back and forth with, or at least twice with. Or maybe this is something that, you know, never even took off the ground. Since this separation, you've had to go probably deeper than you've been before. And that's because this cycle with this person's soul goes beyond this lifetime. Now, after this, I had two very interesting words come through, like very specifically come through. So I went and looked into what they represented, and it was like, yeah, pretty cool sort of message. So the first that come through was the cascades. Now, if you're familiar with waterfalls, then you would know cascades are the type of waterfalls that just keep rolling into each other. And that represents the flow of energy, emotion, divine grace. It can represent the progressive nature of spiritual growth, the release of emotional burdens, or the cascading effect of positive and negative experience, which is so true. And if, like, I feel like you have been in a cycle with this person, and all of the above that has cause for you. The harbour. Now, this was interesting. The harbour can represent safety, refuge, and divine guidance, a place of rest and protection from the storms of life, or in life. Now, that's really like, in this separation, you've found a safe space to start opening yourself up to your own healing journey. And the last one that come through, and I will go back to that, but the last one that come through was a sunflower growing very tall at a rapid rate. And the words that come through with that were optimism, warmth, and being seen. And if this is something that somewhat traumatized you, then you could have been really withdrawn and isolating the last few months, and, you know, hiding yourself away. I mean, you could have like had a full digital detox and stayed off social media and had people wondering about you a little bit. And the way that you're feeling now, this shift that has occurred for you in this time that you've been taking for yourself, this has triggered so much growth within you. And you could be in a space where you're feeling comfortable to be seen again. You could find yourself having interesting conversations, like people are feeling very drawn to your energy right now. So I'll keep going, but I thought that was very on point with what's previously been spoken. Now, this is where I did pull some tarot, and what showed up here was definitely two stories, as in two different energies. But I'll start with the person that you could have been dealing with. Now, this is someone that is like, well, not only just with you, but in general, they're someone that's got a real lack of satisfaction in social settings. So this come through, and there was a scene, and it's a person sitting, and there is so much noise and chatter all around them, and they are so unamused by any of it. And that come through more like an image of someone sitting in a crowded room and everything just fast forward all around them, and they're just sitting there like numb. And it's during this time that they're wishing that they were with you, doing the things that they took for granted while they were doing them with you. So this person to you could have felt really like just dissatisfied, like made you feel like you weren't enough at times or weren't doing enough. So you could have been really like putting this person on a bit of a pedestal for a while and doing whatever you could, like especially if this was a back and forth, like if you've been trying to repair things. But yeah, but you could have noticed this person being tense or uneasy. I think during this time too, there was the Venus in Aries retrograde, which can lack a lot of impatience in relationships. And I feel this was probably like impacting them. And yeah. So I'm just going to read it as it's being channeled. So, however, this is where the energy splits. Jumping timelines here and now. We're here to you. You could be a water sign or someone who is tapped in with their emotions and quite warm and friendly upon first encounter. However, you've been reflecting on this recently and have at times judged this part of yourself as being a hopeless romantic. You could have went through a period of disappointment in matters of the heart. Now, when I say hopeless romantic, and the judgment, this is looking at that weakness within yourself where you've really been completely vulnerable with somebody else and put everything you've got into a connection, thinking that it was going to be your forever after. You could have been a very open target, giving or receiving emotional manipulation or manipulating situations to achieve outcomes that were just unattainable to begin with. And that's due to attracting emotionally unavailable people. And it's potentially coming back to that hopeless romantic energy you've always embodied. And that is to, no one take offense to that. This is the energy of the realizations that you're having within yourself. And it's you learning how to work with these energies. This is what facing shadow aspects of ourselves is about. It's not about wanting to remove it because it's there. There's healing involved, yes, but it's also learning what positives you can take from that. Because it's come from a good place and you need to know that. And Spirit does not judge you for being that way. Now, this is a somewhat trigger warning. Someone within this energy could have grown up seeing domestic violence as a child. A parent could have left. And someone here is discovering a pattern within themselves. Someone has peeled back their trauma and found a common denominator that is a theme in interpersonal relationships for themselves. And it's going back to that experience of what you know certain things to be, i.e. love, i.e. receiving love, giving love, healthy love. And the epiphany was, I attracted what I've always known. And the visual that come through was like a piece of cutlery falling to the floor, and that clang, like being at a cafe, and that happens and everyone hushes and looks. So this was like quite a discovery for you, or whoever this energy is. And this could also be the rubber band on the wrist. Going back to that. This realization brought clarity and closure to what you were separating from that had been hurting you. And it no longer had power over you in this moment. Now, I did go into this, but unsure. Flipping it back to the other person's energy, that's when they felt the shift. So yeah, I pulled some tarot to clarify that overall energy for that channeled message. And like, you don't want to feel dissatisfied moving forward in life, and you could have spent a lot of time feeling that in these non-reciprocal relationships. But I feel like you've moved past that crossroads, and you've got more of a clearer direction of what you want to move towards in life, like whether that is romance, career, stability, whatever. But this is more like, you are learning that you can embody and feel all of this within yourself and move forward in life. And you do want to be met where you are. Like, you could have settled for a lot of crap, a lot of disappointment. And it's making these good moves for yourself that is setting you on to what a lovely little fulfilling future there. Isn't that what we all want? Balance within harmony, within relationships, within that emotions. So the energies we have here is Libra. We've got Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. We've got some Sagittarius. We've got also a little bit of air energy there too. But I feel like you really are working on, like, it's not only healing right now, but it's like unsticking things. And yeah, this recent one really was something that that changed you a little bit. I hope this resonated with someone out there, and I hope you continue to make good choices for yourself, regardless of who else that affects, because ultimately right now, like, you're really on a path for understanding yourself, because you are learning. The more that you understand yourself, the easier these lessons and challenges that the universe throws at us, the easier they start becoming, and then we can actually close things out rather than being on a fucking merry-go-round with them. So keep going. If you did resonate, love to hear a comment or like, share, subscribe, And I'm going to be doing a little giveaway coming soon. I'd like to get to 100 subscribers. That would be really cool. Anyway, you take care.